Why is television?
This is great because T-Robs loves to ramble, and he's got to listen to Pepe.
Faggots per capita. They have really what we would consider degenerate pride parades. They're super. They're super out there. But then if you look at Israel, it's where they're not a minority and they don't have to worry about. It has a lot to do with where they live too, but they're a lot more divided left and right there in Israel than they are here.
For all that they don't have the Sanhedrin. They don't have the court structure in place to get rid of all that yet. So they endure it as of now.
You think all of these liberal fucking Jews? Hold on. I don't buy that. Jews are like ethno-religious fascists, just waiting to implement whatever it is that they want, and just all of a sudden all of the gays, the far left gays, the degenerates are just going to suddenly disappear or agree to give up their lifestyle. I never see that happen.
No, it's not that they're going to disappear or be killed by the Sanhedrin. It's maybe they believe that there's going to be a cleansing of sorts. Who knows how
a cleansing of sorts. Oh.
If these people believe that they're so special, blah blah blah, and whatever, and maybe you don't believe that, but I think that they believe that.
Hold on. I definitely think that I'm special. No, don't fucking.
Hold on, Tom.
We're all special, including.
But Tim, hold on. Doctor hasn't said anything yet. Hold on. Let Doctor go.
For the love of God, why did they force the man? They were one of the most tyrannical fucking places on the planet, Israel, for forcing the vaccine upon their own people. That's something that doesn't make sense to me.
I think that's a stretch, but let's go to Doctor.
Hey, what fuck, dude? They were like one of the first places to get it.
Tim, you're talking to a Jew, and I would absolutely twist you around and beat the fuck out of you if I wasn't in Los Angeles right now.
If you were in front of me.
You are a piece of shit.
That's right.
You are nothing, man. You are nothing, man. I've had fun with this conversation because I love people like you. You're fascinating. You are something special.
Why would you go to violence?
Because he's pathetic.
Dude, I've been incarcerated. I used to train grizzly bears. I would turn this guy upside down so fucking quick. It's unbelievable.
Hold on. No, seriously, like, regardless of incarceration.
Because I'm crazy. Because I'm Jewish and we all have mental illnesses, right? So, I'm nuts, man. I mean, this guy has no idea how nuts I am. That's what's kind of funny. He's been in the Irish Army is like a Lego. What the fuck is it? A Lego? Like, what is it? Is it tiny? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get it wrong? Are you in the Welsh Army? I'm sorry. Was I wrong? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But their faith and their Moshe is commendable. I'm not gonna lie.
So okay, but go ahead, T. I want to hear more from.
Okay. No idea who the fuck this guy was.
I'm still here. There's no was.
He's been here for a couple hours.
I've been listening to you for an hour and a half.
Oh. So, have you got your knickers on your twist?
I do want to get back to that introducing ideas thing.
I would like to get back to it.
Who is knickers?
So again, introducing, it comes with intent.
But don't you think introducing ideas, so like Karl Marx is he's kind of a fucked up individual in real life, like he wasn't the greatest person, but he was obviously a very brilliant man. But once again, Noam Chomsky's a very intelligent man. I may think he's a complete whack job, but Ted Kaczynski was too, but he was obviously fucking nuts. But hold on. Can I finish my fucking point? I got derailed. Holy shit, now I'm trying to...
Gaddafi, was he angry about?
I know, but he was a leader. I don't know that he wasn't like an intellectual, but if you were to look at... can I finish? I keep on getting derailed. Okay, so, like, obviously when you have, like, ideologies that take fold and they catch a lot of motion, it comes from intellectuals, it's like, okay, like which group of people though tends to be, I don't know, pretty intelligent and really, push for education and shit. Like, yeah, I mean, okay, especially when it comes to their verbal IQ and all of that shit.
What does
I mean, yeah, they're overrepresented maybe when it comes to
intelligent?
I don't know. I'd say in just science is soft and hard. Like, I don't know.
Well, make that argument for men. Like I don't think that you're pro 50% representation of women in the C-suite, right? Maybe you are, but I don't think you are.
Well, does it require morals?
Any other type of fucking like group that has a problem with this sort of shit on the left, usually, right? Why is it they don't have a problem with overrepresentation of this group?
Well, you mean why don't we talk about an overrepresentation of Jews in general?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of simple because, well, number one, they're a minority. Number two, they were persecuted, and so there's like, it's kind of people are more like sensitive about criticizing them, and then but then they're not underrepresented, which I think if they were underrepresented, that would be something that would be spoken about.
I think if any group in a quote-unquote democracy, right?
Yeah, it is contradictory.
I think if any group was underrepresented, unless it was like in America, let's say America, right? Because America is different than other countries, right? Like if let's say apparently there was a 2% Muslim population in Japan, I would shed no tears if there was 0 people in positions of leadership. That is different. There's an ethnicity involved. But let's just focus on the United States. Whoever has really bad feedback. In the United States, I would somewhat be disappointed with some representation, but it's vast overrepresentation. All of them like to boast about we're such a small minority and all of these Nobel Prizes and whatever. It's like, I'm not talking about Nobel Prizes, but undoubtedly in C-suite executives and the Biden administration, they're vastly overrepresented.
I would say that, okay, people, I guess you could say it would be safe to call me a race realist. I mean, this has kind of been shown consistently time and time again. There is a group of Jews that are very, obviously intelligent. And then culturally, I would say they really emphasize education and getting a successful, being successful later in life, all of that shit. I would say to me, and if you do the math, and there's actually, like, even Jordan Peterson did the math. If you were to, like, for example, look at, like, for example, an IQ of 145, which is very high. Despite them being 2%, just over 2% of the population, that small group of people in the United States would represent 42% of the people with an IQ of 145.
No,
that's absolutely fucking significant.
145 is not 2% of the population. There's no fucking way.
Huh?
145 IQ is not 2%.
No. Okay. So the standard deviation difference in IQ between white Gentiles and Jews. Okay, so think of there's like 6-7 million whatever Jews in the United States, 8, I don't know. And Jordan Peterson, had done all the math, and nobody could really say that's not true because it's simple math. But so because the Jews are in America are so overrepresented on the tail end of the spectrum for intelligence, if you look at all of the people in the United States that would have an IQ of 145, which is obviously a small minority, 42% of those people that would have an IQ over 145 in the United States, 42% of the 145 IQ up would be Jewish. So that is kind of like, once again, you say like, why is there so much overrepresentation? Why is there so much overrepresentation? Well, I mean, if they're producing people that are extremely intelligent at that high of a rate, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense, right? Because if I don't know about you, but I pay attention. I run my own business. I know other business owners. The majority of people, like this is a rolling joke that C and D students employ A and B students or whatever, right? all it proves is that you're a better trained German Shepherd, right? That you can go through academia and achieve a higher level, and you're essentially a deep field subject matter expert. You go deep, it's not broad. Do you think Donald Trump, for example, has a 140 IQ and is a fucking deep fields specific subject matter expert in any specific field? No, he's not.
Maybe from his early years.
No, that's not IQ, bro. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, Carson, listen to me. Carson, you and I both know what we feel and whatever. And I appreciate the fact you're trying to counter me, but you also know that that's not fucking true. Like, your real skills got very little to do with IQ. Real skills got very little to do with IQ.
Oh no. I don't necessarily make the IQ deal because there's.
IQ is not this is a factor, sure. Is it the most important factor? No. At some point, the leadership spectrum, it's got less to do with IQ.
No. That's what,
sure they're not below average IQ.
Sure, but you have to look at this. Okay, this is what I think you're failing to realize.
Because if it was true, I think the Asian thing just can't be right. Because if it was, they're high IQ, therefore they're higher representation.
They have higher IQs than Asians. That's the thing.
Okay, but why are not? Okay,
wait, which Asian?
No. Like per capita, per person, right? Why the fuck is why are there no Asians? Maybe in Canada, by the way, and even in the UK government, there's a lot of fucking Asian communists, by the way. But that's a different story. But in the United States, in the Biden administration, where the fuck are the Asians in the Biden administration?
Sure, and here's one of the things. So,
seriously,
Asians,
give that a real.
Yeah, sure.
Give that a real.
So when it comes to Asians, they tend to do
there you are,
very
Pepe.
well, more math in particular, higher IQs on average, and yes, they have more outliers than us. Asians tend to go into STEM field disciplines, and like I said, I think stereotypes, there's a degree of truth to them. Now,
Pepe, I don't know if you know this, but you're actually really... The real Pepe is extremely stupid, and I assume that's one of the reasons why you've chosen this profile.
Asian lawyers, it's not their thing. They just don't do it. Now, there's some. Of course, there's always going to be some, but they tend not to... And of course, even when it comes to their verbal abilities, that Jews, that's where they really shine. But if you look at... But hold on a second. Hold on. And so, if you look at... for example, let's look at a cabinet member, an appointee, for example. You say, with these fucking Jews surrounding him. Okay, but a lot of people don't... Sure. And a lot of people don't understand what it takes to even get, to work your way up there in politics. Generally, you're going to an excellent school, probably an Ivy League school. You're going to graduate near the top of your class. Then you're going to go to an Ivy League law school. You're going to probably be on the, near the top of your class. You're going to get some kind of, very sought after job offer.
You hear how he's struggling to even figure out how life works? It's like making it up as you go along.
It's something that would select for only people that only with really high IQs would have. If you were to look back in the 90s, when they were doing IQ tests just to get a sample of like what the average IQ was at Ivy League universities, it was around 140. I mean, it was like these people capable, cognitively, and so that them being overrepresented with having a high IQ, that just shows that if they have all of the capabilities, they have the processing power to be able to make good decisions quickly.
No, not necessarily. The higher IQ you go, right, is a bell curve. There's diminishing returns. Like, you end up becoming more fucking retarded, Frank, I think. And, I do love this point, right? There's a
projecting.
Let's refer to him as a gentleman. I think his name, forgive me if I'm butchering the pronunciation, Chris Langen, and who's like famously is like one of the smartest Americans living in America.
That dude in Montana, yeah.
And Montana.
I've seen his posts about the banksters, as he calls them.
Okay, banksters or globalists, whatever they may refer to them as, and also one of the greatest press chess prodigies on the planet, right? Like Bobby Fischer. You're what you may refer to as, again, I mentioned this earlier, there was a poll done within Carnegie Mellon.
A poll is a study.
Is my understanding.
Carnegie Mellon?
The most vaccine hesitant was actually PhD above high school.
Yeah, you told me PhD.
Right.
And
no, it wasn't. I told you it is. Right, you can go look at it. Right. Like,
but I told you I knew that.
Okay, so
you told me earlier.
So the point is, how is it that, and chess primarily, but I think humans in general are pattern recognition machines.
Really, T-Robs? You think so? Did you just come up with that, T-Robs?
Chess masters, in culture of all time, they both believe it's the little hats.
It's the little hats!
Scolded for it.
Oh, it's the little hats!
It's like Donald Trump, bro. See, in 2016, I didn't give a fuck about Donald Trump. I was like, fuck Hillary Clinton. I'm not even American, but I was like, fuck Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, fuck Hillary Clinton.
But the more they go after him, the more it makes me think.
You know what the ironic part about him is, though, right?
Say
that talking about, you know what the ironic thing is about him, though, if you're talking about Jews, right?
Jared Kushner and fucking...
Well, I mean, his daughter, yeah.
I don't know if he put the little cap on, but...
He has Jews surrounding him.
Oh, I know.
He's more pro-Zionist than...
That's AIPAC. I know, this is the problem, bro.
Oh my god, he figured it out! It's AIPAC!
And Nixon and the fucking... the telephone call?
Yeah.
Nixon and the telephone call?
Dude,
to the Jews?
They're everywhere.
Woo!
Like, hats off to them.
Heads off to the tiny heads! Heads off to the tiny heads! No.
Oh, go ahead, look it up. They were talking about...
Come on, tell me.
Sure, no, oh, yeah. So, like, Herstein, I believe is a psychologist. I don't know, was he... I don't know if he was Harvard or if he was Berkeley, I forget. But they were talking about, like, basically the differences in cognitive abilities between groups. And he didn't say it. Instead of Jews, he said Eskimos. And
he said Eskimos?
Asians are a little bit better than us. Oh, okay. Oh, but I heard the Eskimos were the highest. And, he's like, yep. And it was kind of funny, but yeah, he did kind of have like, and I remember at that call it was about, Jews in Israel wanting to expel Christians from Israel and how that would...
Well, the portion of it that I heard was referred to two different types of the in-group, right? Because
there's two types of tiny hats. The aggressive tiny hats with no morals, and then the non-aggressive type that still doesn't have any morals.
Committed violence or whatever. So, like, it's not all. This is such like a California libtard fucking thing I have to say. Like, not all women, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not saying all people. But there are people within that people who believe something very different.
But sure, so like when I was in college, I had Hispanic friends, and they had
the IRA were extreme.
This is a reason why T-Rabs couldn't stay in the military, because he didn't know how to keep his mouth shut.
They got their way. It doesn't have to take a large amount of people to take overwhelming fucking significant results or whatever.
Whatever.
I'm saying where I live, the IRA.
Was I like cutting out or what?
No. T-Robs just keeps talking. It's the T-Robs show. T-Robs never stops talking.
No, say it again.
Oh, I was saying, like, when I was in college, I was friends with a lot of people, Mexican Americans, and there was a club, and it's in many universities back then, and it was called MECHA, M-E-C-H-A, and they called the people that are in those clubs machistas. Now, there was some, university professor who kind of came up with the ideology. It really caught on, but a lot of it was about the reconquista of the Southwest. They were extremely ethnocentric.
They were a bunch of racists, Pepe.
Anglos, type of thing.
Like a tamer version of La Raza.
Yeah, kind of. No, these guys were radicalists. Even the mayor, I forget the name of the Mexican dude that was mayor of Los Angeles. He was a part of the group back when he was in college in the 80s or 70s or whatever, and that group had derailed a train. they committed something.
Did that ever derail the clown house room, Mr. Pepe?
They pushed
Hello?
very pro mestizo, La Raza, shit.
You are a Mexican, aren't you, Pepe? You're not a Corsican. You are a fucking beaner.
It's a small ethnic group. I think that you see it like. I don't know. There's no like trait with Jews that I see that makes them unique in comparison to other minorities, except for, like I said, well, actually, let me backtrack. I said that I don't see other groups willing to stick their neck out and try to strive to be in leadership positions quite as much. I could be wrong about that. But I do think that every group of people, especially minorities, do seek to gain more power, capital, and influence for their people, which is rather natural. And I just see, like, here they are as a group, they just do it better than everybody.
I don't know if that's true, Pepe.
I don't know if that's true. That's not true.
Like the Asians, they pretty much stick to themselves, and the only time they get active politically is like when they have like certain issues. Like case in point,
it's another
when,
trans.
that police officer killed that Asian boy, I believe in San Francisco.
He was Asian or something.
They got together and made sure that dude was like out of like the
bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't see other. I think Asians are kind of like more like us.
He's
in the sense that they're not willing to.
How do you stomach Pepe? He's so stupid.
Power in the same way.
Why are Asians accepting the fact that they have?
God, T-Robs is the dumbest motherfucker ever. It's like, how do you spend your Friday night talking about Jews and the little hat people and how they have no morals and they control everything? It's like, bro, do you even have a life?
It's so easy, really, to shut them up because they're so dumb when it comes to this topic.
It's not just this topic. T-Robs is low IQ on everything. If you're going to sit on a Friday and talk about little hat people, you have nothing in your life. You are your own worst enemy. If they're controlling everything and they're such pieces of shit, why would you compliment your pieces of shit by talking about them all Friday night long? This is obsession. This is hatred. This is stupidity. This is low IQ. This is depression speaking. This is unincorporated shadow. This is unself-actualization. T-Robs is just beyond pathetic. And so is Woodcutter. And so is Karsten. And you hear how they kind of talk to each other like, oh, no, wait, Karsten, wait. That's not even the truth. Listen to this. And Karsten's like, no, I don't think that's true. I think that, no, it's the little hat people. They do this. It's cringe. And it's like, I don't know, it's pathetic, and I can't, I'm so happy that I'm the one who gets kicked out of the room for saying, Pepe, you're platforming Jew hate, you do this intentionally because this is your shtick, and then they're like, I really do think that humans are pattern recognition seeking creatures. Really, T-Robs? Did you just think of that today?
Yeah, it's, oh God, I just got tired of refuting their stupid arguments. And it's not necessarily, I can see where all these theories are coming from, but it's just that
I forget. He's like, wait, what was that? And so, he didn't realize that there was
after you diagnose something, how you treat it or the reasoning behind the diagnosis is just so stupid. Completely.
Well, if you want to have a real conversation, you have a conversation with Jews, and then they can tell you how stupid you are. But instead, Pepe just wants to kick everybody out or let T-Robs just act the fool, because this is Pepe's way of distancing himself from Jew hate speech. But at the same time, by platforming it, you are essentially creating it. So Pepe is low IQ, very stupid. If he's not creating a podcast by now, for God's sakes, he really is stupid. If this is how you spend your Friday night.
Room, and I didn't intend it to be about Jews today. But Tim came in the room, and because he recommended me a movie, and I watched it today, and he told me, oh, you should watch this movie, and I'm like, hey, I'm watching it tonight.
What was it about? So little hat people and the bankers and the globalists?
It's called They Live.
Yeah, exactly. That's their belief that these Jews are living forever and they're using black people to keep their immortal souls banking forever. Like they want to control the bank forever, so they have to live forever by
Yeah,
going into
but
black
anyway,
ops.
I watched the movie and I came on Clubhouse and I opened a social room and so Tim came in and he's like, "Oh, what, did you like the movie?" I'm like, "Oh, it was good. I mean, like,
Imagine,
it was like
imagine if Tim's didn't have these rooms to come in. Who would he talk to, and what would he even talk about?
I don't know."
What's going on in your life?
But
Oh,
anyway,
T
the
Rob's
movie is
T
like
Rob's runs a
dystopia
business.
and whatever, and it's about how like they're controlling us through the media and the mainstream narrative, and I'm like, yeah, well, this is happening, but it has happening. I mean, propaganda has been happening since forever, you know. And then he's like, yeah, and guess who's behind? And I'm like, oh, no. And I'm like, yeah, of course, it's the Jews.
Exactly.
And then he started, right? And then when I was pinging my Jewish friends, they would come and they would deal with him because I don't want to deal with it. Like it. First of all, I don't even know how to deal with it, other than just human behavior and psychology analysis or whatever, or observation of dynamics. But that's it. Like, I cannot refute any of the stuff of like, okay, yeah, they were thrown out from this country and that country because they did this, they did that. I can't. And so I was thinking in the Jews, and then Tim started going and going and going, and then the Jews came, and then they started fighting, and then it became a whole thing. But then after a couple of hours, they started talking like nicely to each other, and we started talking about our topics, and there was a dialogue and whatever. Everything was fine. And then Tim again, oh, but the little hat, and then it started again. It's like he's retarded for doing this.
Hello?
He wants to talk about the same thing.
Ribono Shaloilim, good Shabbos.
Hello? Are you ignoring me?
Ribono Shaloilim, good Shabbos. Listen, T Robs is retarded. I'm glad, that I'm happy. That's all that really matters. T Robs lives in the middle of nowhere in the north of Ireland, where if he wore his military uniform, his fellow citizens would have killed him. He's pathetic. I mean, he is a leprechaun, and as such, the thing is, it's like, this is emotional transfer 101 when somebody's angry and nasty and they're the kind of, they're just there to get your dopamine feedback loop going, to feed their dopamine feedback loop. You might, like he says, "Ooh, I don't like to talk about the little hat people. I like to talk about the Mormons, or I like to talk about the Ammonites, or he goes on the Midianites, or whatever the fuck he's talking about. The what are those people called? Anyways, the Amish. He talks about the Amish as a reference to the Jews. Why aren't the Amish so immoral? Why aren't they in politics? Why aren't they in global banking? Why aren't they controlling the world and committing genocide and regime change and vaccinating the? It's like, okay, T. Robs. Okay. It's like, give it a rest. Like, is this what you're going to say at your wedding vows with your wife? That, like, you are committed to overthrowing the Jewish banking cabal, but I do love...
Oh, he will mention the Jews in his wedding. I promise.
Could you imagine? Darling, I love you, but there's something I want to bring up before I read the vows. I want to talk about the little hat people and why they're not invited to our wedding. Oh, really, T-Robs? Thanks for making it so romantic. I'm so glad you're such a freedom fighter in Northern Ireland. Congratulations, freedom fighter. Wow. Get a life.
Hey, honey, I just made sure that no little hat were serving this wedding tonight.
Could you imagine if he killed a little hat? He'd be like, I fucking never been so proud of myself when I killed my first little hat. I fucking started turning the tide in the banking global cartel of the monopoly in the banks. I finally one Jew at a time until we completely deconstruct the globalists. Holy shit.
So we need to make a PTR of Tim wearing a little hat.
Oh, we need to convert him to Judaism.
Yeah, well, I bet you that he would be happier if he was a Jew.
Well,
because then he will think that he has all the money and all the power.
So there's this guy I was listening to, I was playing on here earlier. He claims that everybody's a Jew, meaning that when you put your faith or you put your emotions in the right hand side of your brain, the right hand side of the brain is the Jew brain. So most people are living in their left side of their brains, but the right side of the brain is basically where the spirit,
Emotional?
yeah, where the spirit lives. So, I mean, T. Robs has a spirit, but he doesn't understand that he's his own worst enemy and that he has an evil inclination, and that is isolating and basically Touretting. He has Tourette syndrome. He has Jewish Tourette syndrome. That's the way to look at it.
Did you hear when Thomas came in the room? Did he say anything?
No, he was just listening.
Okay. Yeah, because I came in the room and he was there and I just kicked him out. But I was wondering if he was saying anything about the little hats as well, because he gets all excited with this topic as well.
People love the little hats. It's like, I think one of the big things is they are jealous of the fact that Jews have their own country, which in itself is a miracle. So, I don't know. It's
That's
like,
what Tim was saying before he went in. He was saying, like, why do you have the right to have an
yeah.
ethno-national or whatever country, and the rest of us can't? Why can I not have the same right as you? I'm like, you're just jealous. You're angry because you don't have what they have.
They want,
and their story is very different than the one of your country.
white Christian supremacists want their own ethno-state, and thus they shit on Israel because they're unwilling. They could move to Israel and have their own ethno-state, but they'd have to convert to Judaism, and that they cannot stomach.
That's exactly what I told him, that you love all these retards like Nick Fuentes, and they are all Christian nationalists, and they would love to have a country only of Christians. I said, but they can't, and so now you hate the Jews because they actually can.
Well, like I said, I mean, if he brings up the international cabal of banker Illuminati running the world at his wedding vows, she's gonna be unhappy the rest of her life.
Regardless, she's going to.
You have to let it go. I mean, you have to have love in your heart, and just complaining about little hat people all day long is not. It's not even close to Christian love. It's like the exact opposite of Christian love, but it's just sour grapes, you know. So
yeah. What if it's true that the Jews control the world and they move the money and they have the power? What if it's true? To me, I would be like, so what? You know, there's nothing really I can do about it. I'm gonna still live my life and do what makes me happy and wake up to walk or go exercise if you want. They're not even affecting you directly.
I know, but you might as well be talking about pink elephants, because there's no such thing as a monolith of Jews. It's individuals.
I know.
So it's a whole. The whole thing is stupid.
I know, but let's imagine that all that is in their head is true. So what? Do they think that they're really going to change it by complaining it and bitching it, whining every day about it? They're not gonna do shit. Why do they even bother?
Because I think it deals with the dopamine feedback loop, meaning that the Jew topic is like the bully on the playground, and by going around and calling everybody a Jew and trying to like cause emotional mood swings for people on this app, in that way they're getting the dopamine feedback loop to fill the depression in their own lives. Again, a lot of people on this app are fighting boredom and loneliness and low IQ and not full employment or lack of education. So there's so many background factors that cause somebody to come on a social audio app and start saying, these fucking little hat people, they're fucking ruining everything. They're fucking controlling everything. I can't get a fucking job because these fucking little hat people are fucking me life. I see a leprechaun.
I get it, the dopamine thing, but that's my point. They will not be less miserable if everything was true. They would be exactly doing the same. I mean, they won't do anything with their lives. The same way that if the Jews disappeared, all of them, from the face of the earth tonight, tomorrow their lives would be just as shit as they are today.
It would be the same life, but they would just move on from Jews and go straight to Muslims. There's no difference. They're just they're just attacked. Yeah, they just live in attack mode. They don't live in contemplation mode or self-reflection mode.
That's my point. That they are miserable because they create their own misery, not because anyone is
Exactly. That's the fundamental philosophical maxim and aphorism, and they don't talk about philosophy. All they do is talk about little hat people and how they control the fucking banking world. You see, they don't talk about intelligence. It is all infinite loop conversations. Pepe is the king of stupidity. All he does is race rooms. That's the only shtick he has because he doesn't read philosophy. He doesn't do anything. He's an idiot. He admits that he's an idiot. All you have to do is listen to him for 10 minutes. He's fishing around word by word trying to come up with ideas because he has nothing to talk about. He wants to be Johnny Carson, but he's not. He's Pepe the Clown, and he's low IQ, and he's stupid. And I'm just documenting the Jew hate, so I can just, say, well, not so I can even say anything, just because this is me, recording stupidity. Like, this is content.
Well, I hope that in your recordings I don't sound hateful.
Well, this is what Pepe Pepperoni said about you and others. He wrote, "You shouldn't criticize Pepe. He's a race expert. And of course, Issa is an expert on absolutely everything. Brainless know-it-all. T-Robs just wants to get laid. He's pinning for the fake Australian. He's immature."
Oh, that's what he wrote?
Pepe Pepperoni wrote that.
Okay.
I don't know who Pepe Pepperoni is.
Oh, he's calling me brainless.
I mean, the thing is, Pepe Pepperoni is also his own or her own worst enemy, and by calling you brainless, I mean, you're not brainless. I mean, so, Pepe Pepperoni is just a harsh critic of everyone except for Pepe Pepperoni.
I wonder why Pepe Pepperoni is not showing his face.
Now Pepe Pepperoni has reappeared as the Dearest, the Red Heart. And
Red Heart.
Yeah, it's called Dearest Lover, aka Dearest Lover, featured in Forbes.
Let me see if I have him in my.
If Pepe Pepperoni and Dearest Lover isn't doing the same game that I'm doing, which is recording everybody, this is the worst because this person isn't even getting dopamine feedback loop by talking. So they have to be recording. They have to be. Somebody else is doing what I'm doing, and now they're recording everyone. And I don't know if they're publishing it, but yeah, it's called Dearest, aka Dearest Lovers. Dearest Lover. Dearest Lover, I hope you're recording all this and putting me on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, etc. I hope you're exposing the hate. Pepe Pepperoni has returned. Pepe Pepperoni, anyways, it's,
What?
Nothing. I have a hot bath drawn up. If I wasn't talking to you, I was gonna let Pepe run while I go take a hot bath in the other room. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah, sorry, I went accidentally into one voice note and it just ruins it. So, okay, so that's Pepe Pepperoni. I'm thinking that it might be you.
People keep saying that, but it's not me. I don't have time to live stream rooms and come up with interesting comments that I'm reading to myself to read to you. Unfortunately, I'm pretty lazy over here.
Who do you suspect of?
I have no idea. This person is somebody that I am unable to tag to.
Travis, if you're not with me or against me, there's no.
Here's Prince, another Jew hater.
In what way have I ever been against you?
No, not.
They kicked me.
Who? Who is that?
There was Prince and Asanam Gaba. Gaba is a nasty piece of shit. John Edward Takusahi. Anyways, there are people out there that really live with hate in their hearts, and they're dangerous. you know? People who live with hate in their heart, they're dangerous because not only are they dangerous to other people, they're dangerous to themselves. They're self-destructive.
Yeah, that's the bad thing, you know. I mean, like the danger to other people. Well, it's relative, you know, because I don't think that they have the balls to actually get close to anyone. But they're dangerous to themselves. I do believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm perfectly content never meeting anybody from Clown House ever.
Well, you already did.
Yeah, randomly at a gas station.
Well, and Augustus.
Oh yeah, that's true too. That was actually a little scary, you know, because like not scary, but like it's not like I was scared of him. It's just like you're meeting with somebody that like you don't necessarily know if you're gonna like, and you don't want to be rude, so you have to be on your best behavior. Um, you know, and everybody's different, but like, uh, you know, Gustus was genuinely just a nice person and a fun person to hang out with, you know, because he's Augustus, like he's a very, you know, unique person in the sense that he doesn't give a fuck. He's an artist. And the funniest thing is we're walking down the street and he has like this giant Philadelphia Eagles starter jacket on, and I'm like trailing behind him, and there's this like couple black guys smoking a blunt, like sitting in a parking lot, and they're looking at him. They're like, "Bitch, you fucking take that fucking jacket off, bitch."
Really?
Yeah, and Augustus didn't even turn his head. He just it like went over his head. He didn't even know they were talking to him because there were so many people. But at the same time, I'm like his backup, you know, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, people are gonna kill him because he's walking around Miami with a fucking Philadelphia Starters jacket on, and there's all these black.
What does it mean? What does that mean?
There's all these black people from Boston, you know, and the Patriots, and like they have a big rivalry. So it was like a football game evening, you know, where there was a big rivalry going. So people were just acting the fool in the streets. But it was just kind of funny how Augustus didn't even notice them. He's not, I don't know if he's autistic, but he just like didn't even notice that he was about to get killed.
Yeah, but did you guys have a good fun? I mean, like you guys spent a lot of time together, right?
Yeah, we went out. I mean, you know, he didn't drink, but like, you know, that then this other guy who's kind of a weirdo, not kind of a weirdo, he is a weirdo. What's his name? I don't want to make fun of him because, you know, you spend a couple days with somebody, it's like, you know, I mean,
Yeah, then you feel bad. Yeah. Cool.
everybody's got their challenges. What was his name again? Mr. Hamilton, Black Hamilton. Definitely a cocaine addict. He had
I don't
like
know who it is.
he had like really bad allergies, aka like fluid on the nose. And I was like, "Do you have any blow?" He's like, well, "Funny you ask." And he like opened up his driver's side compartment. Like there, he pulled out some blow. And I'm pretty sure he's gay, but and then he definitely like hates the tiny hat people. So everybody hates it. Augustus doesn't like the tiny hat people. You know, he's like, we had dinner. He's like, honestly, I just got to tell you this. You're like probably the coolest Jew I've ever hung out with in my life. And I was like, and I'm thinking like, is that a compliment? I'm like, first of all, I'm not even a Jew, so like clearly you don't like Jews. I mean, I think it is a question of people not having Jewish friends, meaning that they don't realize that they're just people, you know, who eat food and watch television and have problems like everybody else. Thus it's the dumbest argument in the world. It's all circular, but people are just, you know, Jews are like the weakest kid at the playground or at the school park where it's somebody you can pick on and make yourself feel good about yourself. But if you're such a tough guy and you're so smart and you're so intelligent and you're so successful, is that what successful, intelligent people do? Is pick on and bully Jews and talk shit about Jews? Like
Exactly,
that,
it's just so stupid.
yeah, like you're not a cool person. Like that doesn't make you cool. That doesn't make you intelligent. That doesn't make you successful. It doesn't make you tough. Like it doesn't make you anything. You can call it political if you want, but you're still picking on people as if it's a monolith. It's low IQ. It's low brow. it's not intellectual. They're not presenting philosophy. They're not talking about God. They're talking about fucking Jews. So they just live with hate. It's pathetic. It's not even sad. It just would be great if a hammer could fall out of the sky, hit them in the head, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, God is real. I guess I shouldn't talk about the Jews anymore. I just got hammered."
I agree. But it's all these conspiracies as well. I think that, I mean, I love conspiracies, but I think that when you start getting into rabbit holes and stuff, you need to know how to keep one foot on the ground, because if not, you end up like this, thinking that everything is real, and really, yeah, that everything has power over you.
So Peppy
It's
Pepperoni
just absurd.
wrote, Augustus is gay and his new fiance is a beard. He's a serious drug addict and that's why he's got gay druggy friends like M. Hamilton. So Pepper Pepperoni seems to know a lot of people. So the heart profile isn't me. Oh shit, that's somebody else. So I have heard Augustus is like, he has done gay things. I didn't
He's
get
listening to us in the other room.
Yeah, I don't get the feeling that he is gay, but like his fiance is a sweetheart. They're just like two normal kids looking to have a baby.
Is she a Republican or a conservative? I think she mentioned something.
I'm sure they hate the Uniparty and that they don't believe in the Uniparty and that they claim they're both, terrible organizations. But anyways, I felt like they were a good match.
She spoke the other day on the microphone, and she seemed nice.
Yeah, she's a nice girl, and I hope they're in love. I don't know why Peppy Pepperoni is so negative on everybody and everything. I mean, Peppy Pepperoni, do you have any self-criticism? I bet you don't. I bet you think you're. I know Peppy Pepperoni thinks he's perfect. He's gay and wants kids, so knocking someone over the foot, she's going to get hurt. Yeah, Peppy Pepperoni says she's going to get hurt. I don't know, Peppy Pepperoni. You don't know. Some young men, they fuck their lives up, but then they go straight and they just submit to their woman and they're a good person. Like, it's not that complicated.
He doesn't have to submit to the woman, but
well, he has to essentially submit in the sense that she's smarter than him. So like he needs her, she needs him in the sense that, like this is the thing about love is two hurt people can come together and care for one another and everything works out. But if you're negative and pessimistic on everything, you're not going to even go on the journey and try to make it work. Nothing is going to work. I mean, it's all going to fall apart. So, enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah, and actually, I think that this is a good opportunity for Augustus to settle, and I hope he doesn't fuck it up. Because I doubt that he will get something much, much, much better.
Well, it's not so much about getting better in terms of like a partner, because you still have to be concerned about yourself, meaning that like he's got a lot of self work to do. And until he does that, and she's got to do that too. Like their relationship won't work unless they're actually doing self-actualization work. So in terms of like whether it's a success or a failure, it's up to them. And in my opinion, they're not doing any work. Coming on Clown House talking about UFOs is not therapy. That's not self-actualization work.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not. Like they are destined for failure because they're not. But I could also be wrong. I'm my own worst enemy, and like just because I think other people aren't doing self-actualization work, doesn't mean that they're even more self-actualized than me. That's the mystery about women. It's like women don't need to do much work. Like they're already kind of genetically in a higher state of consciousness. So, if you're a former,
What do you think that is?
I think it has to do with the fact that like Adam was like the first being, and that the woman is taken out of the man. So it's said like the man is constantly trying to put the woman back inside of him. So that means kind of like the woman is in a higher state of consciousness, that the man needs to unite with the woman to get the higher consciousness. So it's like said that a woman is in a natural state of higher consciousness. This is all hypothetical and just, bullshit. But who knows? You never know how all these marriages work out. Sometimes 50% of the time they work out, 50% of the time they don't, you know? But I think if you have
I mean, in the old times, they weren't either about self-actualization, you know, and it did work. I don't know.
Are you
If there is
serious?
respect, sometimes it is just
It's
what's
always
needed.
about self-actualization. And back in the 20s and 30s, people were very religious. They were united with God. They had high successful marriage rates because they were religious. They believed in God. They believed in family. They believed in the word of God. I mean, they didn't watch TikTok and look at girls twerking 24 hours a day or pornography 24 hours a day. Like the mass hypnosis communication industry is trying to essentially, make you squeeze out your nut without putting inside of a uterus.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm being really facetious there, but
Yes, you are.
if you want to be happy or you want to attract men in your life, I mean, you don't have to marry them, but like what you have to do is like constantly work on your gravity, your positivity. And as such, moths are going to be attracted to your flame, and you can pick and
That's
choose.
right.
Yeah, you can pick and choose who you want. I mean, the better your face, the better your ass, the better your brains, the the better the man. You have to admit that like you're gonna get what's equal to you or less.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely will
Yeah.
you get something equal to greater than you. So if you think
I
Augustus
believe you.
can't do any better, I mean, if that's what he can pull, that's what he can pull. So I mean, it's but part of it is illusion as well. Meaning like I could pull a great girl who's not my equal, but I might be able to do it because I'm intelligent and somewhat handsome. There's always like this balancing act between intelligence, looks, education, money, self confidence, tragedy. There's just 10 major variables that go into whatever somebody's love situation is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just happy that he is on that path because the first couple of years I knew him, he was like in an open relationship, you know, and kind of like having a relationship. I think it was, I don't know even how you call that, like a relationship of three. And yeah, I don't know, it didn't seem like it gave him too much stability, you know, psychologically. And so I think that having found someone that I don't know is there for him, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about relationships, at least from an outside perspective, where I'm always just like, oh, this is God at play. Because they say that when a man and a woman are united, that's where the Blessed Holy Ancient One is. I was out to dinner with them, and we're sitting there at this restaurant, and I bought everybody dinner, and like above Augustus are like these laurels. You know what laurels are?
Yes, yes.
So it was very much like, I don't believe in past lives, but like the guy's name is Augustus, and like so he does have like a shining star. I mean, people can critique him and call him a faggot, a drug addict, an artist, loser. It's like, oh, okay. Well, he's working for Robert F. Kennedy. He has a decent looking hot chick who loves him and she's pretty smart. Like, you know, at least he's not on here running his mouth all day long about Muhammad, the Angel, and the Aruba tribe. Like, he is
Yeah.
interested in UFOs, and I think it's crackpot. But I don't know. Some
And
people just
actually,
love UFOs.
Augustus is smart. The thing is that he goes through the tangents a lot, you know, and speaks very slow. But if you actually pay attention and listen to him, he always has a point. And I always think that I mean he always surprises me, or most of the times surprises me, because I'm just like thinking initially like, oh my god, there we go again. But then I'm patient, and then I listen to what he has to say, and you don't interrupt him, and he arrives to a point that is actually meaningful, and that he has done some thinking about. I think he's intelligent, very intelligent.
Well, he's definitely like he presents things as like a journalist now with the link and the content and talks about it, but it's like it's always it's always a nothing burger. But that's because all of this is a nothing burger. Whether you're talking about self-actualization and God, or you're talking about anything else, it's always a nothing burger. Like, look at Rob and Pepe. Tomorrow morning when they come back on the app, and they won't even remember what they talked about the night before. And so this is all communication is hypnosis. They have amnesia. They're amnesiaing each other by talking about little hats and the global banking monopoly. So that's what's happening. I mean, if you're not aware of the fact that you will not progress by talking in infinite loops about little hats, you're your own worst enemy. I mean, and it's true for everyone. I just keep saying it because, I don't even want the best for T Robs. I don't want the best for Pepe. Like, I would want the best for them because I want the best for myself. But truth be told, like, I want to put these phones in a bag, go to my boat, and just like enjoy my life at the beach and laugh, knowing that people are still on here talking about little hat people in infinite loops day after day after day after day after day after day. It's pathetic. It's beyond pathetic. They're not reading Shakespeare. They're not reading Faust. They're not reading Marcus Aurelius. What are these people doing with their lives? They're not reading anything. They're just going on in infinite loops, sitting in their apartments, yapping at their phones like little birds about little hats. I mean, if I had a girlfriend here, I would be too embarrassed to even tell her that I'm on Clown House talking or recording people talking about little hat people all day long. She'd be like, "Why are you doing that?" I'd be like, "Well, that's a good point. I really don't know why I'm doing that." So, you should be ashamed to even come on here and sit here and go on and on and on and on and on about non-academic, unintellectual things. It's just not academic. It's almost like these people didn't go to college, or if they did, they forgot what college is all about, which is just educating yourself, not opinionating people to death about your fucking hatred for little hats.
That's right. So stop coming every day and go enjoy your summer outside.
Pepperoni wrote, Chicago, get real. She's not pretty. She's classless and dumb. His friends hate her. She's currently hooked on drugs because of him. He's making his long-term girlfriend jealous because she left him. The Kennedy thing is also a farce. He's lucky he isn't fired. I wish the best for everyone, but you've got to be able to see reality when it's in front of you. There's a case that you guys may be under Augustus's trance. I don't know why people can't see that. Okay, so I'm definitely not under his trance. I definitely,
Under his what?
His trance.
Oh, he is trans.
No, she's saying Pepe, whoever this Pepe Pepperoni is. Now I assume it's a woman. It's got to be a woman. She writes like a woman. So anyways, I don't know. Who is this woman? Who knows Augustus?
No, but what did you say about the trans? Oh, sorry, I didn't understand that.
He's saying that we're being kind to Augustus because he has hypnotized us.
Oh.
No, I wouldn't throw him more than 5 feet, nor would I ever lend him money, nor would I ever invite him in my house. I mean, he's a Clown House personality, and he's a clown, so I don't know why you think we're hypnotized. I mean, we're just complimenting somebody because it's Clown House.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really had an issue with him. He's always kind and yeah, I don't know. He is very how do you say it's not exuberant. I'm looking for another word. Not exotic, but it's similar. Extravagant.
Who's extravagant?
I think. Well, I don't know if that would be a word, but like he's out of the normal. Like he's someone different.
Yeah, it's because he's like autistic.
Yeah, and because he has done drugs as well.
It's not just because he's done drugs. I mean, he's an artist. He is a graphic designer. Anyways, I don't need to compliment him any more than he needs to be complimented. I mean, he's from Clown House. Like, that's what makes him special. That's it. That's it. And he has big rooms because preservation is a legacy room. And he does have the ability to create and activate an audience, which gives him some power and notoriety.
And attract people as well, because people like to be around him. So that's also a skill.
I was talking to this guy in the army. I was like, yeah, I know this guy who knows Kennedy, and he's working on his marketing campaign. I was like, it's kind of crazy because, like, I can influence this kid and say all kinds of things to him, and then he can literally like it's like changing somebody's personality, and then he goes up to Kennedy, and says all these things, but it's not like really him. It's like him and me. So I was like, it's kind of interesting how influence and information spreads. It is person to person. So I mean, it's just kind of interesting. Basically, like you have Kennedy's ear because you have Augustus's ear. So that's kind of fun.
Have you been using it?
Using what?
Well, Kennedy's ear.
No, but I have realized that Kennedy is a very savvy politician in the sense that when he talks about his dad and his uncle's assassination and how the CIA murdered his family to assume control of the world, that plays so deep into the American consciousness. It's like voting for John F. Kennedy himself. So whatever happens, I mean, chances are he's not going to win because he's not a Democrat. So he's not running as a Democrat. But you never know. Something could happen to Biden, and you never know. It's possible that like there's an assassination, and so this is what Pepe Roney, because assassinations are real. And I was listening to somebody talk about all the U.S. presidential assassinations, and he claims that there's like an evil presence which is taking all these presidents out, which implies the devil. But what it really means is that there's a secret society really in control of America. This is what Pepe Roney. That's what I mean. Kennedy isn't listening to Augustus. Get real. No one cares what the drug addict kid thinks. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Kennedy probably doesn't really care what he thinks. He's doing graphics, which isn't a big deal. Many people can do. They're just cheap. Listen, Pepperoni, let us have a little success with somebody who knows somebody. Pepe Pepperoni is so negative. You need to go talk to the real Pepe because at least he's more positive than you.
You know what? I'm gonna block him. I don't really dislike him. I'm just curious about who he is.
Who? Pepe Pepperoni?
Pepperoni.
It's not negative, it's reality. Yeah, Pepe Roney. Pepe Roney, were you the person who said that you've given up all hope about the future, that you have the fuck it's now, and that you don't expect a good future? I think he wrote me something really, really profound like a week ago. I was like, wow, it's very true. It's like a good stoic way to look at the situation. Just hearing Polite says this stupid shit like Augustus even talks to RFK. Mr. Kennedy, I was doing a graphic design for Mr. Kennedy, and he said buy 100 more phones, and so I started creating more Instagrams like you. Holy shit. This kid could make it to the White House. If these other fuckers can make it to the White House, I don't understand why Augustus can't make it to the White House. Augustus may say it, but of course it's bullshit. Well, I don't know why Pepe Roney thinks he's so in the know. Don't you know David Duncan? Mr. David Duncan? David Duncan?
Oh yeah, he's very close to Augustus as well.
So I think David Duncan works for Kennedy, or I'm pretty sure it works for Kennedy. Anyways, maybe David Duncan is another degenerate. How does Pepe Roney know all these people? Just an asshole. Yeah, David Duncan is a loser asshole.
He must be someone that we all know from the beginning.
But who? It's a woman.
I don't know.
It is a team of people, Chicago.
What if it's KB?
Not a woman. KB? KB?
KB.
This has to be somebody that knows Pepperoni. Who in those rooms?
KB has been around, just listening into rooms lately.
I don't know. Who is this person?
And she knows everyone.
Pepperoni, do we know you? Let me ask you that. Do we know you? Have we conversed in the past? And you probably haven't spoken in any of these rooms, because I've been in a lot of preservation rooms. Yeah, no. Pepperoni writes no. Because I've been, running my mouth in preservation rooms for like years. And,
I barely went into those rooms. Maybe at the beginning.
There are some real
I would make
fucking
rooms
losers.
with Michael Tronic, but I barely.
Mike Tronic, he's okay.
Mm.
There's people on this app that I really like, but it kind of also amazes me that they're even here because like some of them are pretty successful, and it just blows my mind that like they're not that smart. So it's just kind of amazing how they're successful and they come on here and they're just kind of pontificating and wasting. It's just entertainment. People are fighting boredom. That's really what it is. People want that dopamine feedback loop. But it's not like anybody, it's not like you can actually transmit anything groundbreaking on this app unless you're like actually studying philosophy, because philosophy condensates or condenses or reductionizes a lot of very elongated concepts. So I don't know. I know you probably haven't studied much philosophy, but if you haven't read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations or Epictetus's Enchiridion,
I
you really
started
should.
it and I haven't finished it. I left it when I went to the US, but I want to finish it because I have it on my night table.
Yeah, you should create a room and just read that book to people. Yes, my darling. If we were married and I said, "Darling, will you create a clown house room and just read Marcus Aurelius for the night?" You'd be like, "No, darling, that's so boring. I want to talk to all the people that I've been talking to for years and then kick Thomas out of a room."
Exactly.
That would be far more fulfilling than reading
After I read
Marcus.
Cosmopolitan.
See? You know,
No,
I
of
was.
course not. I would be happy to read Marcus Aurelius for you.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. I was dating this like incredibly beautiful girl whose father like worked in the oil industry and they were like gazillionaires. They lived in San Diego and you know they were just super rich. And she was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. And I went to her house in Houston and I was like, "Oh, have you ever heard of Alan Watts?" And she's like, "No, who's that?" So I put him on. She's like, "Turn that off. I don't want to listen to that." I was like, "Really? You don't like it? It's very interesting and it's very high IQ. It's very smart." She's like, "I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Turn it off." Okay, not interested.
You know, I first heard of Alan Watts when I joined Clubhouse. I met I don't know, this group of people, and one of them was actually a tranny from Germany, and he introduced me to Alan Watts, and I just heard like one clip, and it became a little bit addictive. You know, it's like that guy, like he speaks slow and whatever, but it's so engaging. It's kind of addictive to listen to his clips.
It's
I really like it.
addictive because he's talking about God or the self. He's a self-actualization hypnotist. It's all he's doing. He's constantly
But it's
talking
such
about
a
the self.
pity that he was an alcoholic, right? Because for so much self-actualization, he was not really walking the talk. He was killing himself.
Everybody's gonna die. But the thing is about philosophy is who are you? Where did you come from? Meaning that infinity and eternity, you're kind of passing judgment on an alcoholic who figured out the mystery of life, meaning that he didn't give a fuck if he died young. He accomplished an incredible, he created podcasts before the podcasts were even a thing. Why do you think we're talking about him right now? It's because he was the first podcaster. He's the Amelia Earhart of
He left
self
himself
help.
recorded forever, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna live on forever. And he said before he died, "I just wish I could figure out how to do all this without having to, use my arms and my hands. And how can I do this forever?" Well, you make a recording. If it's very high value intelligence and it rectifies a lot of people's situations psychologically or even environmentally, meaning that it is the egg and the chicken. That's what Joe, the co-founder or one of the operators on this app, was even saying. He's like, it's just a question of the chicken and the egg. And I was like, fuck, he's right. It is a question of the chicken and egg. So it's organism, environment, environment, organism. That's who you really are. So like when T. Robs is telling us about the little hats, he's telling us about his environment, meaning that he's economically depressed. He is emotionally depressed. Like he's leaving out everything personal. Like he doesn't go into anything personal. It's not about his love life. It's not about his financial situation. It's not about his family or his housing or his culture or his politics or anything. It's just the little hats. Fucking little hats. But who? I mean, honestly, it's about transparency. If you don't have courage, if you can't open up and tell people who you are, where you're from, what you're doing with your life, well, you're not really being a friend. You're really just like kind of spewing hate, for probably political points or for white supremacy, supremacist talking points. I mean, it's pathetic. That's the beautiful thing where it's like, yes, if I were to meet you in life, I would love to fucking smash you in your face and teach you a good lesson. But truthfully, if you were a person of peace and love, you wouldn't want to smash his face. And you'd say, hey, let me get you a shot of whiskey. And then you can tell me about how you were molested when you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are gay were molested. Or they were.
I am impressed with that. And I feel so thankful, for my own life, because I never had to go through that. Never.
Yeah. If you have parents who love you and protected you, like, this is why you should honor them, because we live in a very raw world, meaning that there are lions out there, and some of them are unrestrained, and some of them are dangerous, and they're out there. There's predators out there. There's predators on this app. I mean, men and women, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, all the stories I've heard here, and to see how normal that is. And well, in the U.S., I don't know if Clubhouse is a fair sample of what the society is in the U.S., but I'm really shocked about that, about the abuse, and rape and molestation and stuff, but also about the drugs and things that children, have been exposed in their young lives. It's terrifying. I cannot imagine something like that happening to me or to my sisters.
Well, terrible things can happen to you, and terrible things will happen to you. You have to admit that the sword of Damocles is over your head. You're going to get wiped out in just a few hours, Not 24 hours, it might be another 3,000 hours, but you and I, we both share the same fate. We're born penniless, we're going to die penniless, we're going to dry out and turn back into the dust. I mean, that's a fact. Everybody on this app is going to disappear, including yourself. So if you're going to come on here and just talk about tiny hats all day long and never get into anything actually interesting, or, innovative or creative, I mean, that's T-Rob's biggest dilemma, and why Jew hate content is not creative. It's not creative. It's the opposite of creativity. It's really just a reflection of your own mediocrity. Tough, cool guys don't pick on Jews. They pick on people who are bigger and better than them. That's, what awesome people do. They go up against the big shots. I mean, yes, maybe he's going to talk shit about Bill Gates, but he's not Jewish, is he? Yeah, we don't know. Doesn't make a difference now, does it? It's pointless. There is no such thing as a Jew, and everyone is a Jew. It's just the stupidest thing in the world, because if you're a humanist and you realize that everybody's just LARPing a geographic specific culture, the whole argument about tiny hat people is out the window. It's all the same fucking LARP. Everybody's LARPing. You have to play the game and admit that people are LARPing. But then they want to go, oh, we'll go into the Jews' morals. They don't have any morals. The arguments just never end. It's always circular. It's abductionism ad absurdity, or abduction, whatever it is, abductio ad absurdum. So this is Clownhouse. T-Robs is never going to give a lecture about mass communication theory, is he? He's never going to go into technical specifications.
Want to say he won't.
We'll get really specific. No. Get really specific. Now, if you look at the Amish, and they don't. Poor bastard.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
Oh, late. I need to go to bed. But I was gonna go to bed, and then stupidly I came on Clubhouse, and then I got angry with T-Robs, and then with Pepe, and I stayed here for another 4 hours, and I wasn't planning on doing that.
So let me put it to you this way: like, if you were to go out with a guy, and you were to get serious with him, and you were to invite him over, and things were going swimmingly, and you guys were like, you weren't living a clown house world, then all of a sudden you were to like pop onto Clown House and say, "Oh, honey, let me show you my awesome, cool friends that I have met on my cell phone."
Definitely not.
And then he knows that you have all these relationships with all this like online racist trash. And then he's like, this girl's a little crazy. She's kind of a loser. Why is she on here talking with these losers? Like they are losers. I mean, 100%.
You know what? Not long ago I was having actually this conversation with a friend, and I was telling him like, listen, because I'm doing some sort of self-actualization at the moment, and I was like, yeah, I am currently trying to aim to be that person or that woman, that the guy that I imagine or the guy that I want will like. And Clubhouse is definitely not part of that woman, because anyone that would see someone in Clubhouse would immediately think that they're trash, because this is just all stupid. And it's a form of wasting time and whatever. And this is the reason also why I have not really been on Clubhouse a lot, and you have seen that as well. I think that you have noticed, but I don't know.
I mean, you were traveling, but you're on Clown House right now when you should be sleeping.
I know, I am in Clown
and you're
right
coughing. You sound like you're sick. I mean,
I'm also sick, and I am also.
So again, you're your own worst enemy, Issa. You know what? I read something interesting about the word Issa. Do you know where that name comes from?
No, they told me it has to do with Jesus. Is it from Islam or not?
I mean, I heard it has to do with like God or a goddess. I mean, I'm just telling you, T-Robs is a leprechaun. Okay, you want to transcend above the leprechaun mentality. You want to transcend above the Pepe the Clown mentality, and you want to be Issa the goddess. That means you should be reading wisdom here. You should be cultivating rooms of intelligence, not just random opinion formulations. If you don't get academic and you don't read books here, you will continue to have nonstop circular T-Rob argumentation and stupidity for the rest of your life. So be careful what you do here. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you listen to. Stop wasting your motherfucking time. I mean, I've read dozens of books on this. I've listened to hundreds of audiobooks on this platform. I come here for me, my benefit, my education, my love, my joy. Not T-Robs, not Pepe. I don't give a fuck about these losers. They can go die in their little rat holes where they came out of. That's me. I mean, yes, I'd like to share the wisdom with them that I have, but they don't even want to talk about that. So I don't give a fuck about them. That's why I record them. That's why I publish them, because I have no respect for them. I want to have nothing to do with them other than make them my slave and make money from them, because they're fucking rats. And that's exactly what they are.
Are you going to monetize this? I'm wondering.
I don't know, but I'm recording. And if I doesn't monetize, well, I don't give a fuck. At least I didn't waste my time talking to those fucking losers. All I did was make fun of them. They're fucking losers. They should be called out, and that's why they kicked me out, because they can't stand the heat.
Did you call them out?
Yeah, I called them out. I got kicked out of three accounts. Pepe, you're platforming Jew hate. You're a fucking Stugatz. You're doing exactly what you do with your black hate. Stop patterning. I think humans are pattern recognition seeking peoples. Oh, read a book, get a girlfriend, get a job, read a book on Clown House, but just stop with the Pepe the Johnny Carson show, because he's an idiot. It's like Prince wanting to be Johnny Carson and hosting a podcast of a bunch of Jew haters. And then you go to sleep at night, you're like, man, we fucking really crushed those Jews tonight. God damn, that was so fucking delicious. Woo, I feel great. Let's do it again tomorrow. And then you just have the same conversation over and over again as somebody eventually introduces a couple new tidbits that they read on Wikipedia that Tuesday afternoon. It's like, wow, you guys are really going places. And the worst thing is they're not even recording it or publishing it. Like if they're not building an audience, they're not. That's the beauty of the whole thing.
Just releasing the steam.
But what steam? It's their conditioning. They're just repeating their conditioning. They're talking about wherever T. Rob's got conditioned, wherever Pepe got conditioned, wherever I got conditioned. I mean, I'm not oblivious to the fact that I'm opinion making too, but I mean, I like what I do. I love yelling at these people and calling them morons and they're wasting their lives. They're wasting everybody else's time. I mean, that's the beauty of this app is that like it does give that instantaneous feedback to what you're doing. If people are unrestricted in what they're saying and they don't really give a fuck about your feelings. And I don't give a fuck about people's feelings on this app because you have the option to eject me. And that's the beautiful thing. Then I just go right to the next room and continue on. Checking. Or trolling.
Maybe they're doing the same and they are just saying whatever they want and they don't care if they piss off people. And they feel happy at the end of the day.
The big difference, Issa, for me is I'm looking at bookshelves full of books of extreme value. And I know that they're not looking at that in their ratty-ass apartments. Yes, my apartment may look like it's from a 1970s set from the movie, Aladdin. But I like my beautiful books. They have nothing. They're poor in the sense that they don't go to libraries. They don't read books anymore. They come to Clown House and think that they're doing an educational service to themselves by having a non-stop circular logic conversation with T-Robs about the little hat people. Is that education, Issa? No. It's entertainment, trying to fight boredom. So you have to call them out and call them incompetent fools and that they're sorry jokes of human beings wasting their lives. I would much rather be at this beautiful nightclub down the street, dancing with beautiful Polish girls and Ukrainian girls, but actually recording their stupidity and making fun of them and everybody else is almost just as exciting as being around beautiful women dancing to fucking Russian pop music.
Well, not really, because you could meet the love of your life and then reproduce and have a family and maybe leave Clubhouse for good and just have something of your own.
Well, that could happen, but also I'm not of the opinion where like I have to be ashamed of my Clown House activities. Like if I do have a fiance or a wife and kids, and I am making money from this, I'm sure she'll be more than happy and enthusiastic about my recordings. If I'm not making money off of T-Rob's being a Jew hater, well then I'm sure she'd probably be pretty embarrassed that I'm wasting my time listening to T-Rob's all night, every night, night after night, just like you, Issa.
I am not here night after night.
Oh yes, you are. You've been here for fucking years, girl. If we totaled the total number of hours you've been on this app, and then we looked at everything you ever said.
Like not the last 5 months. I have not.
Well, you will be here for the next 5 months. I have no doubt.
I have lowered so much my Clubhouse consumption. Probably less than half.
So Pepperoni wrote, I use the app like Tinder. I met like 6 chicks off of this app. It sounds to me like this guy's a Schwartz.
Who?
Pepe Pepperoni. He says they're all
but
nice.
who is what?
Pepperoni claims that he fucked 6 chicks off of this app.
Okay. Good.
6 to 7 girls in 4 years. Yeah, good for you, Pepperoni. What's your point, Pepperoni? Oh, he met. He did not sexy time them. What time is it there? I mean, are you even getting 8 hours of sleep a day, 7 hours of sleep a day?
Yeah, I am. Today is actually the first day that I am not sleeping. I've been sleeping a lot lately, actually, because since I have been feeling sick, my body has been asking for sleep, and I have just done that over the past 2 days. But right now it's 5 a.m.
Pepperoni says, my point is you can meet good girls off of this app. Okay, now I know Pepperoni is also just as stupid as Pepe. You're Pepperoni, you're technically Pepe's mini-me. You can continue to talk shit about my beautiful princess, Issa, But without her, I wouldn't have all these amazing conversations of these dinner for schmucks. Like, Issa, you are. That's the thing. I always forget that I'm such a prick and so uptight that I forget that what we're really doing is cultivating and curating dinner for schmucks.
Oh.
It's true.
Is that the movie?
Yeah, Dinner for Schmucks with Zach Galifianakis. It's a brilliant film.
Yeah, I saw it. It was funny, yeah.
I guess I am also the schmuck at the dinner, but I hope not for long. Yeah, I want to win the lottery. I mean, people do win the lottery. Oh my God, Pepperoni wrote Chicago. You'd be lucky to have a girl like Issa. Damn.
What? I thought that I was a brainless know-it-all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now Pepper. See, people's actually like you. You know what it is, Issa? It's your personality and it's actually your accent. Like you're just a positive, happy person. So, as a voice, you're sexy, but once people see, your body and your face, they're like, "Oh."
Shut up. That's not true.
I mean, you're not 21 years old anymore. You were probably super hot when you were 21.
Of course I'm 21, but I don't look old either.
Pepperoni writes,
I don't look
Issa,
old either.
You wouldn't want Chicago. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not like an old, ugly 40-year-old. In fact, you know what? Whenever I go out, the guys that ask for my number are the ones that are like 28, 29 years old, and they think that I'm around that age.
No, they don't.
And actually, I hate that. I hate it because I don't know. Like
no way.
I would like some.
These guys are trying to get up that skirt because not only do they think you're an easy lay, they think you got money.
No, that's not true because I'm in Switzerland. I mean, in Switzerland, everybody's richer than me, Maybe outside of Switzerland, I got more money than the average, but here in Switzerland, I'm just normal.
I know, but I like I said, outside of Switzerland, Anyways.
Oh, but I'm talking here in Switzerland when I.
Yeah, but you don't even get laid in Switzerland. You said.
What?
You said you don't even get laid in Switzerland.
Well, I am not dating at the moment, but that doesn't mean that I don't go out and that guys don't approach me. It just means that I am not dating at the moment.
When was the last time some guy even asked you for your number? You're on Clown House every night of the week.
When was it? Probably about... Here in Switzerland, about 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
Which was the last time I went out because I have been traveling for 5 weeks.
So it's been 2 months since any man has ever even seen your eyes outside of Clown House. Congratulations.
No. I say here in Clown House, here in Switzerland, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's 2 months ago.
I have been traveling 5 weeks.
Listen, Issa, my point is you are really wasting your time on anything or speak anything academic. Everybody's retarded here.
I know. You're preaching to the choir. I know this. Okay. And you know what? Like the reason or the way that I started getting into Clubhouse was precisely because I needed some sort of numbing to my brain. Because I was being so focused on work and I was like very stressed and whatever. And for me, Clubhouse was an escape. And for me, it was, well, at first with all these COVID rooms, whatever, that we took super seriously, it was exhausting. But then when I started hanging out more socially, it was almost like a way of escaping my world. So I do have serious stuff in my life, like all my friends are smart and they have got like nice positions and nice lives and I do cool things with them. But when I'm in Clubhouse, it's because I want to disconnect. So to me, it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. Now, the problem
and that's why you're not happy.
The problem is that when I do it too often, then I get too distracted and then my real life starts falling into the cracks. And this is what I've been trying to I've been correcting. I have not been trying. I have been correcting over the past 5 months. Because I'm not spending so much time in Clubhouse anymore.
I know, but you would admit that you're your own worst enemy, right? Can you admit that you are your own worst enemy?
100%.
Okay, so what is the source of happiness?
My source of happiness?
Yeah, no, just generally speaking, what is the source of happiness? Not just your source of happiness. That sounds a little self-centered. What is the source of happiness?
I don't know. I believe connection.
That's it? Just connection is the source? I mean, God doesn't
life, enjoying life.
God doesn't just jump off your lips, does it? Okay, energy. See, Issa, you're fucked. I'm telling you. Like, you are not going to get married.
That's what I meant with connection. I mean, connection with yourself, with God, with
Issa, you're fucked. You're going to waste your life on this app. You're fucked. Like, if God doesn't just bounce off your lips as the first thing, as the source of happiness, and you think connection and energy and all this bullshit, like, you're bullshit. You're full of shit. You know, and you can come to Clown House for the rest of your life. I'm telling you.
Just because I didn't say the word God?
No, it's not just that. I'm saying, when was the last time you read a book on this app? Never.
On the app, never.
There you go. So, again, I'll ask you again. What is the source of happiness? I'm being a prick. Okay. I'm being a prick just because, like, this is how I can be very quick and direct. Hopefully it's beneficial for you. I'm just saying that, T-Rob's talking about little hat people is not the source of happiness. So why would you day after day after day give up your ear to T-Rob's? I mean...
Because I'm not giving him after day after day after day.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
I have you on recordings in T-Rob's rooms for days and days and days and days and days and days and days. It just never ends.
Because we always end up fighting. I barely have hung out with T-Rob's.
Well, anyways, I spend most of my time...
I mean, probably in the past, but I have barely in the past 5 months. Since December.
Well, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying that, like, studying a book versus listening to T-Rob's opinions is the source of happiness. It's the absolute contrast of T-Rob's.
No, definitely T-Rob's is not the source of happiness. Neither it is talking about him. Because he might be talking about the little hats, but you've been talking about T-Rob's for 2 hours now.
Because he's the perfect example of a Dindu. Didn't do nothing. Coming on Clown House, he's a Clown House hero, a real world zero. And it's not you platform. I'm just saying that T-Rob's is just the mold of your average Dindu on this app. That's why T-Rob's and all the other ones, they just love chit-chatting with each other, because it's like talking to themselves. It's like looking in the mirror and hearing Jew hate, Jew hate, Jew hate, Jew hate. Let's keep the Jew hate going. So, anyways, my whole point is based on your Clown House activity, for somebody with an advanced educational degree, I mean, you should be talking about what you're studying. You should be talking about whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, you're not educating yourself, and like you said, you want to zone out. But that's a little bit like a drug addict. That's like somebody getting high on opium and not doing any work. You're basically lazy, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is what I do with Clubhouse, and you're right. And that is how Clubhouse became a problem to me, because I was not getting anything from it. I was just losing myself in it, and it's nothing different than a drug. I am not someone that does drugs, but I can tell that Clubhouse was doing the exact same effect on me.
Yep. It's putting you in torpor or a hypnotic trance listening to T-Rob's. Wow. Great drug choice.
You are obsessed with T-Rob's.
I am not.
About him today.
Believe me, if I think of a leprechaun licking his fingers after he found the pot of gold, I mean, that'll be actually a good dream.
Pepperoni, if you are not obsessed with T-Rob's, I want to know if he thinks you're obsessed with T-Rob's.
Pepperoni writes, but yeah, you've got to meet people in person. People on this app aren't for long term. Plus, the distance between people doesn't work. That's very honest, Issa. People who aren't on Clubhouse wouldn't understand. Stop projecting, John. No one is self-centered but you. This is all very true. I thought T-Rob's was a dummy, but now I'm learning to put a bullshit positive spin on things like, thanks to you, John. T-Rob's is a work in progress. I agree with Issa. It's an okay addiction. Clubhouse is better than cigarettes. See, you hate Pepperoni and you want to block him, but yet the
No,
third
I
party
told you that
perspective
I
is what
unblocked
we
him
need.
because I didn't block him because I hated him. I actually think that he's funny. It was kind of like a pressure tactic. Like, if you don't tell me who you are, I'm gonna block you. And so I did.
Well, the
So I
third,
unblocked
we
him
need an
already.
analyst. This is basically our psychoanalyst right here, giving me and you real time feedback. We should be
Well,
sending this
actually,
person Cash
it's
App
kind of
tips.
helpful. I mean, you know, I like the feedback, whether it is good or bad. I always appreciate it because it makes me realize stuff that I don't think I know. And sometimes when people are like, "Oh well, don't take offense," I'm like, "No, shit, like I don't mind."
Anyways, Isa, you should go to sleep, and get your life back on track and dump T-Robs in the Pepper Crew.
Yeah, my life is on track. I had actually a pretty good day today. After sleeping for 2 whole days, I slept like 40 hours out of 65 or something like that. It was ridiculous. And today I did have actually a productive day. I had 2 very good business calls. I am getting a couple of offers, and they're good. I don't know. It's good. It's good. My 3 weeks traveling in the U.S. are giving results. So I'm happy. And actually, you know what? I canceled the meetings with everyone in Clubhouse. Actually, I met with Bobadilla and I met with Rick, both on the same night. But then I didn't meet with anyone else, and I am actually glad that I didn't.
Well, Mazel Tov. I mean, I don't even know why Clown House. I know why I'm here, but I mean, again, I don't know.
Why are you here?
I'm here to record you.
No, but why are you here? Why are you wasting your time and your life with us?
I'm not. You are.
Well, we both are wasting our lives with each other.
Maybe, if you believe in the chicken and the egg, that I am you and you and I, but the truth of the matter is, I mean, I have a library. What do you have? You just have years of running your mouth and listening to people.
I have a library of 600 books. Do you want to see it? You're invited to come to Switzerland and read each of them if you want.
Wow. Will you buy my plane ticket?
No.
Aw, it wasn't a real, authentic invite. The money's in the books, baby. It's not in the papers. It's not in the artwork. A book is an artwork.
Yeah, how many books do you have? If we put our libraries together, how many books would we have?
I've got over 1,000 for sure.
Good. So we'll have 2,000 books.
Well, yeah.
That makes for a very nice library.
Well, this is kind of an interesting thing about my book collection is, you realize that just possessing the book is almost as good as knowing what's in it, but knowing what's in it is far better. So how do you find the time, the concentration, the focus, and the willpower to actually ingest the information to make the book part of yourself, to where you become the book? And that is the hard part, is actually forcing yourself to read these books. So I think if you can make it fun, if you can read a book on Clown House, and be theatrical about it and tell everybody it's hypnosis and you're doing neurolinguistic programming with them, like that gives you the ability to get past the loneliness aspect of reading a book by yourself on Clown House. Like you need to make it entertaining to do the creative process or the power of the creative, or the joy of the creative. I mean, just reading a book and not being creative about it is very boring. So to me, the magic is reading it on Clown House.
Now, the way I do it in order to keep the pace and actually be able to read books is I combine, first of all, I'm never going to read an electronic book. I don't like them. I want to touch the book, so I always buy them. But what I do is that I read them at the same time that I listen to them on audiobooks. And that way I can keep the pace and I can time it myself. and I can plan for how long or how many books I'm gonna read in 2 or 3 weeks, and that's how I do it. So it's not that boring to me because I get that theatrical stuff by the person who is reading the book, and so I don't find it boring, and actually it goes pretty quick.
Do you think you lead a purposeful life?
Depending what you understand as purpose, and I think that's very subjective, of course.
My point is, it's not whether you're leading a purposeful life. The point is the purposeless life. There's a genius in purposelessness, in meaning that you have no fixed position, you have no judgment, you have no opinion.
So what I was gonna say, depending what you identify as purpose, because a few years ago, I, let's say, quote unquote, discovered that my purpose in life is that self-actualization, as you call it. Like, nothing that I want to do in this world is going to matter, like the sea is going in and out every single day, for years, for centuries, for millennia, and it will not give a shit whether I am here today or I am not tomorrow. So nothing that I do in this world will actually matter other than growing myself, and trying to learn new things and trying to understand and discover more things about myself, and using everything I have at my reach of hand, almost like it's a stage that helps me as a teacher, to be able to develop all those things. But then I will go, and so I don't know if you have children, or even your dad or your mom or your sisters or your siblings, they are on the same journey, on the same purpose, and I am also a tool for them in order to for them to develop themselves. So that is what I consider my purpose, to die from this life as a more evolved and more shaped person that I came in. And so with that said, my purpose is not something fixed. My purpose is kind of like flowing and living and experiencing everything that crosses my path. And this is why I am not taking too much as negative the things that happen, because it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna flow with this, and it's gonna be okay, and I'll figure it out. And yeah, so I don't see it as a fixed thing.
Well, the big thing is there's nothing to figure out. The whole thing is you're already in heaven. This is paradise. This is the Garden of Eden. So all this surface layer LARPing stuff is ridiculous. It's a waste of time, because the enlightenment is knowing, oh fuck, there's nothing to get. This is as good as it gets. And when you die, you probably disappear for all time. You probably don't come back. Reincarnation is more of a metaphor for the now, meaning that you can reincarnate a positive attitude every single 60 seconds or 10 seconds, meaning that's the beauty of reincarnation. You don't have to wait till you die to reincarnate. You can reincarnate right now. Meaning you can reconstitute your attitude.
I agree. Have you watched the little video on YouTube called The Egg?
No.
Look for it. It's like 7 minutes, and watch it after I leave. You're gonna like it. It's about maybe it'll trigger some thoughts, and you let me know what you thought of it.
I think you need to go to sleep, so I'm gonna end the room, and God bless you.
But watch The Egg.
You watch your egg. You got an egg on your shoulders. It's the most valuable object in the whole universe. It's not just important what you say, it's important what you listen to, because you're being
watch The Egg. Go watch it. It's 7 minutes.
Listen, you're being highly conditioned by all the bullshit you hear on this app. It's obvious. I mean, in the sense that, like, you're aware of it, that you hang out with highly conditioned people, and they just dance. They dance around you, hey, like it's a dance. You know, their track sucks, their music sucks, their dance sucks. T-Robs doesn't
How
even,
am I conditioned by them?
because you are in a room with a bunch of dancers. Everyone is an eternal dancer.
Yeah, but I am aware of it, and I am choosing to be there. I am not being manipulated into anything. And
I know what
exactly
I'm saying
doing.
is, if you want to change your destiny, you have to change the track, you have to change the dance. These men are incapable of putting on a good show. Their dance sucks, their song sucks, therefore you suck. It is the chicken and the egg, so you should watch your egg. Go look in the mirror and check out your egg and tell me if you like the song and dance you're playing. I think it's pretty pathetic.
All right, then it is pathetic. Not more than yours. Anyway.
In your opinion.
What?
In your opinion, again, I'm recording you. I'm not here doing what you're doing, which is just talking endlessly, aimlessly at 5 a.m. to a random chit chatter. I'm creating a product out of you. I'm putting this on YouTube,
then
TikTok,
I am
Instagram.
you. Then I am helping you create a product.
So if you think that
and I know I am because I am conscious that you are recording.
So if you can help me get what I want, I can help you get what you want. But do you even know what you want?
Probably not, because I'm a woman.
No, I'm not a bigot like that. I'm saying you probably already have what you want. You're just unaware of it.
I have what I need, and what I need is in front of me, and I'm thankful for it. Anyway,
yeah,
go watch the egg.
That's a good attitude. Okay, go watch your egg.
What did tell Pepperoni good night, and
let's see what he says.
And to please psychoanalyze.
He's got 449 followers already. Peppy Pepperoni is probably the most successful spy profile on here, because people are like, oh, it's just Pepe. Genius. Okay, good night.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Sheila.
She's a good Sheila, Bruce, not a bit stuck up.
I want to know, what do the Australians think about this Jew Jesus Christ? Was he a zombie, and is he the king of the universe?
You're up, Caleb.
What the fuck? Well, he said it in the accent, so that automatically makes it much more.
Hot enough to boil them
I wouldn't call that an accent, guy.
Now you're projecting.
I don't know. I can't hear a difference, Buster. I think it's.
Oh, Bruce, I heard the Prime Minister is hot enough to boil a monkey's vomit here, Your Majesty, she said, and she smiles quietly to herself.
Throw another Christian and a shrimp on the barbie. Got a bunch of seppos in here, eh?
Michael Baldwin, this is Bruce. Michael Baldwin, this is Bruce. Michael Baldwin, this is Bruce. Is your name not Bruce, then? No, it's Michael. That's going to cause a bit of confusion. Why did we call you Bruce, just to keep it clear?
Hello, Bruce.
That's one of the best gifts, though.
Yeah, really.
Has Andrew convinced you of the validity of this Jewish zombie king known as Jesus?
I don't think Andrew is here right now.
Oh, you mean he's on here all day long, chit-chatting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? The man has no job. He sits in his car creating clown house rooms to listen to you all talk about Jesus. Jesus.
John Lee, I think.
It's the same guy that does the
We're talking about something productive.
What is it?
What were you talking about?
Andrew has a job for the
What was so productive?
We were talking about etiquette between men and women.
Oh no, that is a productive conversation.
You know, something that I've noticed too is that, like, I've been out with, like, some friends and stuff, and if a guy approaches them that they think is handsome or hot or something, and they might say the same exact thing that somebody else said who they're not interested in, and, like, one guy's a creep and the other's not. And I'm like, I don't think that's fair either. And I think, I don't know if guys do that. Maybe they do. But I know, like, I've just seen other women do that, and it bothers me because I'm like, and I'll point it out to them. I'll be like, what was the difference in that person's manner versus this person's manner? And it would be like they didn't have a good answer. It just seemed to be like, oh, because they're interested in one and not the other.
Yeah, well, ugly girls just don't exist for guys or their friends.
Oh, that's not true at all.
You ain't heard of a mercy fuck?
Oh God. Well, as
Sorry, I'm still
told me
processing
that
this.
ugly girls have mad game said.
People know it's me, but they're like, is this that fucking Republican? Is this that fucking guy? Is this that fucking guy that records all the fucking rooms? Kick him!
Oh my God.
I forgot that my British accent is pretty good, that people can't actually like kind of tell it's me right away.
A spectrum of pickup lines listed out.
I mean, it's not good, but
so you look cute. Would you like to go out sometime? Acceptable.
You're so fine, I drink a tub of your bathwater? Not acceptable.
Or the other extreme, nice shoes, wanna fuck? Bad.
Well, it depends on context.
Well, yeah, that's a... What if they're really nice shoes?
If they're fuck me boots, absolutely.
What if they're only wearing shoes and nothing else? I think that might be a sign too.
I mean, I get what you're saying there, but at the same time, it's like, if you just go down a list, like, these are the acceptable things you could say, these are the acceptable things you can't, or the unacceptable things, it kind of makes it inauthentic, almost. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right, Rachel. I think it has to just come from the moment, not
Yeah,
something
there isn't a
like...
formula. This isn't math.
Tell a girl you have a spreadsheet of all the different lines that you use, and you keep track. She's probably going to be disinterested. It's going to creep her out.
Well, my sister really
My name's
likes
Steve.
spreadsheets,
Wanna play?
actually.
It's just a lot
Some
of
women are really turned on by spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets.
No. Oh, not like
Oh
that.
God, I used to okay, I was going to say how about actual spreadsheets, because I used to have to make a lot of spreadsheets for, like, I would budget, spreadsheet. When I was a science major, we used spreadsheets. But in school we used spreadsheets. Like, so yeah, I definitely would be turned on by a guy who used spreadsheets.
Would you mind if I ask you a question? Could you take a look at this spreadsheet and let me know, does it make you want to spread your legs?
Does this picture make you horny?
That's another one.
Spreadsheets that you want to spread on the sheets,
Did you just reference
Asa, welcome back to Angry Racist Northern Irish Nazis with erectile dysfunction!
Imagine if it is somebody who never saw Austin Powers.
Just go up to one with an awesome.
So that whole conversation we had, I piped into this room, so hopefully T-Robs can hear it. But I don't think he's listening. I don't think he cares. Right now, we are in the God Talk Social Issues room. We're talking about dating etiquette.
In the game of romance.
This is Andrew's Friends of Friends, called God Talk plus Social Issues.
Has ever said second chance on me. It's like Johnny Bravo. He had a lot of confidence and took a lot of risks. But that's right.
Let's talk about me, Mama.
Was Jesus Christ the original Johnny Bravo, or was that St. John?
St. John. Right.
It's interesting. It's much easier for me to be.
That blonde.
It's much easier for me to be direct. I'm not direct, but like more forward and like the first to initiate something when it's like online or something, like Clubhouse, rather than like in person though. If I'm like, I just get so like tongue-tied and nervous, and I don't even know how to like, so I feel your pain, Steve, sometimes, because even I like.
Is it with handsome men, or would you feel the same way if it was an ugly man?
Oh, well, first of all, it's really hard for me these days to really see anybody as ugly, that's a whole different discussion. But secondly,
busted!
If I'm attracted to them,
Busted.
it doesn't matter if they're objectively handsome or not. I mean, I dated a lot of guys that other people.
She's a
are
Democrat.
Like, oh, so ugly, why are you dating him?
You don't happen to vote Democrat, do you?
No, I hate Democrats and Republicans.
Oh.
The whole system just needs to go up in flames.
So you hate the Uniparty? Yeah. You live with hate in your heart?
Okay, so anyway, if I like the person a lot, that's when I get nervous. And it doesn't matter if they're objectively handsome or not.
Objectively handsome. Shut the fuck up.
Is what gets me nervous.
Can you be subjectively handsome?
I don't know. I've never thought of that. I mean, I guess because you could appeal to yourself.
Subjective, objective, subjective. A whole new realm of attraction for you you've never considered.
Shush, the grown-ups are talking.
Aren't most people subjectively attractive? Like
Everybody.
Right.
Attractiveness is necessarily subjective.
All communication is hypnosis. Subjective, objective, subjective, objective, objective, subjective, objective, subjective, subjective, objective, objective, subjective.
This guy fucking is trying to like qualify for Alice in Wonderland, dude. I swear, that's what he sounds like.
Are you not entertained?
Harry Stone says that language is
glass to my daughter for bedtime stories right now. He's not doing very well.
I'm late for a very important date. That's the Robbie. He's
It's
trying
time to say goodbye. Hello, I'm late.
He's trying to be the fucking caterpillar, bro. That's what he's trying to be. Or the fucking cat.
That's what I was going to say. Oh, Mad Hatter. That's better.
Yeah,
let me ask you Christians a question. Do you think you come from the same source as Jesus Christ, your Messiah?
Let him ask all those Christians. Yeah, all of us.
Just
We're all Christians, bro.
I'll ask the question again since no one answered, nor do you have ears to listen. The question is, do you think you come from the same source as your Messiah, Jesus Christ?
what does that even mean?
The source, the original source. Do you come from the original source as Jesus Christ, your Messiah?
Harlequin, get up here, bro. You're interesting. Come on, dude.
Original source, as in what?
No, the original soul.
The original source.
No, it's not a source. It's the original source.
The original sauce.
Is that a red sauce or a brown sauce?
It is not a bolognese, it is the sauce, the original cause of all things. God the Father, His Son, Jesus Christ. Do you all come from the same place?
The sauce is the same like the geriatric sauce.
Well, apparently you Christians are incapable of answering the most basic common sense questions about your own Messiah.